sewing machine. Just wanted to come at you with another tech talk today and tech tip today. And we wanted to go over today what the difference is between embroidery thread and sewing thread. It is a common mistake that we see customers coming in with, that they're using embroidery thread on their sewing machine for the wrong projects. So let's take a look at what the difference is between the two. The first thing that you see between the two is one is shinier than the other. The embroidery thread does have a sheen to it, so it is easier to spot, and it stands out when you're doing projects on it. So that way it makes whatever you're sewing with it pop just a little bit more than the sewing thread. The sewing thread on the left has a little bit duller of a shine, or duller of an appearance. So the reason that we recommend the embroidery thread for embroidery projects and not garment sewing is because of the tensile strength or the durability of it. The easiest way to test how good a sewing thread or a thread that you're going to purchase for a project is by putting it against your thumb and pulling back until it breaks. As you see, that didn't really cut too deep onto my thumb, and it broke fairly quickly, leaving some strands of thread. It didn't break evenly. Sorry about that. The sewing thread or garment thread cuts a little bit deeper into the thumb before it breaks, which gives it more durability. The other thing that we like to recommend for customers to utilize their sewing thread is you use it for the construction of your project, your quilt or your garment. The reason for that is because the sewing thread can withstand washing. The thread does not break down as you wash it, and it can withstand some light bleaching. The embroidery thread does not. The embroidery thread does break down when you get it wet, and so it will eventually over time get weaker as you wash it and with some bleaching. As you see here, this was done with sewing thread, so it can withstand quite a bit of stretch and pull to it. The recommended thread that we carry in the store to our customers, again, you can choose whatever you want for your projects, as long as you are testing it with that strength, again, putting it over your thumb or finger and just seeing how far it cuts into before it breaks. But the threads that we recommend that we carry into the store are the Aurifil Madeira and the Maxi-Lock. Maxi-Lock and Madeira are the two that we recommend. We do have embroidery thread in the Madeira. We don't have embroidery thread in the Maxi-Lock. Some of the other brands that we do not really recommend, but they are still decent threads to use, are the Gunthermann. It does have a fairly good tensile strength, but like the Madeira or like the Maxi-Lock, but it depends on what your machine likes and what kind of projects that you're using it on. This one is also another Gunthermann. Oh, sorry, that first one that I had was a Mettler, not a Gunthermann. So there's a Mettler, Gunthermann, Sulky, which is another sewing thread, and that one does break fairly quicker than the Maxi-Lock that we had. And then the other one that we do have in the store that we recommend for really strong, it's one of the strongest threads that you'll find in the market right now, is the Entressa. And that one, I don't want to pull it until it breaks because it will cut my thumb if I eventually keep pulling. It is a really, really strong 100% polyester thread. So those are the options that we have for you today, and we also have the Robeson Anton embroidery thread as well, and the Aurifil Madeira. sewing. So we have Madeira in sewing and embroidery, like I said earlier. And that is your tech tip today. Again, we appreciate you following us on social media. On Facebook, Mr. Sewing Machine, and you can also follow us on Instagram at Mr. Sewing Machine as well. And we appreciate you following us and listening in today on today's tech tip.
This is your name. Give me your name.
My name is Rich.